Rahmanir Rahim. We begin with Allah's blessed name. We praise Him and we glorify Him as He ought to be praised and glorified. And we pray for peace and for blessings on all His noble messengers, and in particular on the last step of all, the Blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is a new group with whom I have not in the past had any contact. So I would like to begin today's session by giving you a chance to introduce yourselves. I guess better know something about you, and then commence with any questions you want to have. So this is we feel each other, yes. Who would like to start? Who would like to start? I want you to introduce yourselves.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sheikh, this is Colonel Ashfaq Ahmed.
Oh, Colonel Ashfaq is with us. Okay, but you don't need any introduction. Okay. We have Colonel Ashfaq with him, who is, mashallah, he does the checking of all the Urdu translations of my book. And, he will remain my dear friend, provided that one mistake is not made. Mistake is this, that if I write a book and I give a verse of the Quran, and then I explain that verse of the Quran, I don't translate it because the Quran cannot be translated. I call it an explanation. And if, for example, I explain the Quran is saying, "O you who have faith in Allah, do not take Jews and Christians as your friends and allies, who themselves are friends and allies of each other." Meaning that a Judeo-Christian alliance will emerge, and we are prohibited from maintaining friendly alliance, friendly ties, and be allies of that Judeo-Christian alliance, which today has emerged as a Zionist alliance. Allah is prohibiting that. And Allah goes on to say, "And whosoever from amongst you turn to them with friendship and alliance," like this, the Republic of Turkey, headed by Erdogan, which is a member of NATO. And therefore, it falls in his category. And the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is an ally of the United States for the longest while. Allah says, if you become friends and allies of those people, you no longer belong to us, you belong to them, and Allah does not provide guidance for a wicked people. And I explain the verse this way. And then someone translates my book to Urdu or to Arabic, whatever it is, and goes to a translation given by somebody else, gives a wrong translation, wrong interpretation of the verse, wrong explanation. And that is put into my book. And now my book says, "O you who have faith in Allah, do not take Jews and Christians as your friends and allies. They are friends and allies of each other." That rubbish goes into my book. No, no, no. When my book is translated to another language, if you make the mistake of going to some translation and using that man's translation and put it in my book, it's better you don't ever translate my book. Yes. So, mashallah, we thank Colonel Ashfaq, who's been checking the translation.
Mute your mics, please.
And I am looking forward when we can get a sufficiently large number of people who can translate to Urdu, so that we eventually get all the books translated to Urdu and then published, inshallah. May Allah send those volunteers who can do this to me. Okay, apart from Colonel Ashfaq, would someone like to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sheikh, this is Nadeem Naqi from Lahore.
Okay.
I recently came to Lahore. Actually, I've spent most of my time around 15, 20 years in UAE. Then I belongs to Karachi. But due to certain reason, as you have explained so many times, which I heard from you, and blessings to you and your staff, about leaving those cities where actually we were facing a problem there in Karachi because of large cosmopolitan city. I think we were feeling, me and my wife, that the time has been taken away from us. We look busy, but we are not busy. As you explained, Quran and Moon, we have studied a lot from you, and we explained this Quran and Moon to the people, that these are the main reasons where your time has been taken away. And I think this is one of the main reasons why we have moved out from Karachi to Lahore, and we found beautiful this Lahore city, mashallah, and we have enough time to spend on Quran studying and Quran recitation. And we have already started those reciting Quran, and we thanks to you, Alhamdulillah, that we have started doing that, and we are feeling much blessed by listening to you on that regard.
इसलिए लोगों कहते हैं लाहौर to Lahore.
Lahore hai.
Yes, Lahore to Lahore. Mashallah.
Achha, one question, Sheikh, I need to
Yes,
ask you about. I've discussed this couple of times with so many people, sometimes scholars also, about Surah Rum. You have explained so many times, and I've heard about those lectures where you were annoyed when people keep asking those questions. And there are a couple of things which are connected: Surah Rum and Hagia Sophia and Constantinople. These are the all pillars which is connected with Surah Rum and the Akhirul Zama, when the Malhama occurs, and you explain the Constantinople, the Hagia Sophia will be, taken over by. Now these people are discussing. They are keeping in mind and in front of me. See, Hagia Sophia has already been won by Turk at that time. Now, if you connect those hadiths, which is mashallah Sahih Bukhari, and you explain so many things, we put those hadiths in front of those people also. But I don't know, the ignorance comes from where, I have no idea. When you recite Surah Rum and study those things, you'll find something else. And when
my response to you is that I recognize that there are two peoples in Pakistan, not one.
Yes.
There's one part of Pakistan whose hearts are attached to the Quran, who have a hunger in their hearts, a thirst in their hearts for the knowledge of the Quran, and who want to learn.
Yes.
And many of these are the young ones. And this is a part of Pakistan that would not betray the Quran. Once you teach them, they will not betray the Quran. There's another Pakistan who don't care for the Quran. They don't show respect for the Quran. If the Hadith says one thing and the Quran says something else, they stay with the Hadith. Let the Quran go its way.
That's more a place, yeah.
Yeah. And there are people also in that group who don't care two peanuts for the Quran. Our primary loyalty is somewhere else, not in the Quran. So I have not come to waste my time with that second group. I don't care for them. I have a limited time left in my life because I'm now almost 82 by the moon and almost 80 by the sun. I'm slowing down now because of age. But I have come to Pakistan to teach those whose hearts are attached to the Quran. So when it comes to Constantinople and to Hagia Sophia, the television could run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year, feeding this brainwashing about the Ottoman Empire. And these people will not be brainwashed by television and not be brainwashed by public propaganda concerning the Ottoman Empire's relationship with Hagia Sophia and Constantinople. No, because of their attachment to the Quran. From the time we teach them what the Quran has to say, these people will immediately correct themselves. And mashallah, they'll move forward. The other group, which is stubborn, will not change. That is a group which has said goodbye to the Quran, and I say goodbye to them. So this is my mission in Pakistan. I don't intend to use today's session to teach you what the Quran has to say about Constantinople. I've written books on that.
Yes.
There's a book entitled Constantinople in the Quran. I wrote it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks I wrote that book. There's a book entitled Constantinople in the Quran, and that book explains to you about the destiny of Constantinople, that when the conquest of Constantinople take place, as prophesied by Nabi Muhammad ﷺ, it has not as yet taken place, as prophesied by Nabi Muhammad ﷺ. We will return Hagia Sophia to the Orthodox Christian world. And no one will not be able to stop it at that time, no. And when we return Hagia Sophia to the Orthodox Christian world, then the Ummah of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and the Ummah of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, these two Ummahs will now draw together in friendship and in alliance. And this is one of the major signs of Akhir Zaman, when these two Ummahs come together to now liberate the Holy Land and to restore the Holy State, the Khilafah state, as the ruling state in the world. Okay?
Inshallah, mashallah.
Okay.
I listened to your previous interview just now about you and yourself and your family, your education. That was remarkable, actually.
Where did you listen to that?
I just came.
It's already on the internet?
It has been uploaded, yes, and Samir sent me that. Yeah.
Okay.
Link.
Okay. All right. So
I was talking to I was actually in touch with Samir and wanted to come and personally meet you, but I had a massive accident. I broken my hand. So I couldn't manage to come and manage. Even the slots have been booked for me, but I'm really really bad that I couldn't manage to meet you personally. I've been connected as a student with you for the last 15 years.
It's already on the internet. I just did it about 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I don't know if you are managed to come to Lahore. Or Samir mentioned that he will connect me to Mr. Ashfaq Saab. So he has a very good idea, and you actually as a book club to open in Pakistan. So when you open a book club and we connect with that book club to discuss those things and to spread those things, plus to spread those books which is related to the subject when people ask those questions.
This is Samir's plan. And I said to Samir, yeah, this is his idea, and he's proceeding with that. Yes, mashallah. My project is.
No, it's mashallah.
My project is at this time.
It's a good idea.
Within the next 2-3 weeks, to get my books into every single library in every university in the country.
Inshallah.
Yeah. And every vice chancellor in the country will get a complete set of books. And when the vice chancellor opens the box and he sees the books, he won't be able to stop reading.
Great.
He won't be able to stop.
Very good, mashallah. As I mentioned, people that they ask me, who are you? I say that I'm Muslim. Always I used to say that. But we have a trouble, when you are not connected to any maslak like Railway or Deobandi and Ahle Hadith and this. Now, how you face these kind of people when they say you cannot live like this, being a Muslim. You should be connected to a Muslim this text.
You just tell them, get lost. I am not sectarian. I will
MashaAllah.
enter into this sectarian tamasha. Get lost.
That's what
my
what
teacher did. He said, I'm
Yes.
not Deobandi, I'm not Barelvi, I'm not Ahli Hadith, I'm not Wahhabi. And all of them rejected him. All of them disowned him. Today, my teacher's profile is far, far higher than all of them. Yes, and my teacher's profile is constantly rising. 40 years, 50 years after he died, his profile is constantly rising. See? And they choose to close the doors on him. No, it doesn't matter. They do the same thing to me. All over Britain, they close the doors of the masjid on me. I'm a famous man now in Britain.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
I'm a famous man in Britain now. The only man, everybody closed the doors of the masjid. It hasn't stopped me. My profile in Britain is constantly rising. Praise be to Allah for that.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
In Pakistan, they're going to do the same thing.
Yes.
So my profile in Pakistan is very low. I'm not in radio and television, newspaper, nothing of the sort. I'm operating only with my students. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. That's good.
Will Ken Wakas ask his question?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Walaikum salam.
I have two questions. In fact, one question and one request. The request is I need a complete set of your books in Pakistan at my home. I live in Bahrain.
Where are you living?
My family is in Pakistan.
Where?
Bahrain.
Where?
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
In Gulf.
In
Yes.
Gulf. Oh, he's in Gulf.
Oh, then it's going to be difficult.
No,
Well,
the set of books is required in Pakistan, in Rawalpindi.
Okay.
When we send a set of books by air-mail, it usually comes back. They don't allow it in Abu Dhabi, in
In
Dubai.
Pakistan also?
No,
The books are required in Pakistan.
not in Pakistan.
We'll send this message and we'll get that sorted for you. Any question you have?
Okay, that's okay. I will send you a message. And the other thing is just I want to know your view about the recent China-Iran agreements. What impact will have, or will it have any impact on the end times or eschatology in relation to that? If you can just
China's agreement with whom?
Iran.
I am not aware of this China's agreement with Iran. Tell me about it.
Recently, they had some agreement of like 25 years for trade of oil also and a road belt,
It's
something like this. And
the business
and
agreement.
doing, yeah, the business agreement.
Business agreement, yes. Well, China is a businessman. China is a businessman, and China will do business with anybody. And now Russia is learning from China. And Russia is prepared to do business with anybody. But China will not bend her knee in submission to Washington. Pakistan has done it so many times. Pakistan's knees are now hurting, bending down in submission. Yes, it is so strange that China will not bend her knee in submission to Washington. And Russia will not bend her knee in submission to Washington. When will Pakistan learn to be the same? And look at Iran under Ayatollah Khomeini. This man, who is a religious scholar, pointed his finger straight at Washington. And he said, "You are Shaitan al-Kabir." No Muslim leader has the guts to do that today, none.
Right.
And Iran, despite the fact that we differ with Iran on matters pertaining to creed, to beliefs, there are significant differences with us. But yet we have to admire that Iran has stuck faithfully to what I call an anti-systemic profile. This is they are resisting Western oppression and Western uh, efforts to get them to submit. This is why they want to wage war on Iran. This is why they're making all of this noise against Iran, only because Iran refuses to bow in submission the way Pakistan has done, bowing in submission for the longest. So they don't have this propaganda offensives so viciously against Pakistan as they have against Iran, because Iran has a consistent profile, which was established by Ayatollah Khomeini, that he called Washington Shaitan al-Kabir. Yeah. I have to admire the Iranian foreign policy. Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome.
This is Sayyida Maryam.
Okay.
Sheikh साहब,
Yes.
मैं सिर्फ ये चाहती हूँ कि आप मेरे सलाम का जवाब दे दें.
Oh,
और मैं
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's your name again?
Maryam.
My
Maryam.
name is Sayyida Maryam.
Sayyida Maryam.
Sayyida
Maryam.
Maryam. Okay. Sayyida Maryam, in my old age, my hearing is declining. Yes.
Doesn't matter, sir.
Go ahead.
शेख साहब, मैं नदीम नकी जिन्होंने अभी आपसे बात की, मैं उनकी बेगम बात कर रही हूँ.
Okay, your husband just spoke to me. All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah.
और मैं डॉक्टर इसरार अहमद की स्टूडेंट हूँ और 21 years पहले जो है ना, वो मैंने दुआ की थी कि अल्लाह ताला उनसे मेरी मुलाकात करवा दे, और ही केम टू आवर हाउस और मेरे ही कमरे में रुके और उनसे मुलाकात हुई. और मेरी शादी को अभी 7 years हुए हैं शेख साहब, और मेरे मियाँ जो थे ना, वो आपके स्टूडेंट हैं 15 years से.
माशाअल्लाह.
और जब से मेरी शादी हुई है ना, तो शेख साहब मैं आपके साथ जो है ना, वो उनकी वजह से कनेक्टेड हो गई.
माशाअल्लाह. Okay.
और मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि आप मुझे भी अपनी बेटी की तरह कबूल करें और मेरे मियाँ को भी, और हमें दुआ दें कि हम आपके काम को लेकर आगे चल सकें आपकी इजाजत के साथ.
Yes, I don't call them my sons and my daughters. I call them my students. And I say to them,
Yes.
when Allah takes me away from this world,
Yes.
Khabardar, do not ever say that you are my student. Khabardar.
Okay.
Do not ever say you are my student unless and until you are reciting the whole Quran the way Allah recited it. The way Allah recited it. And if
बिल्कुल.
you know how Allah recited it, then you must read my book, the Quran.
बिल्कुल, मैं वैसे ही शेख साहब 1 साल से मैं और मेरे मियाँ बिल्कुल चांद की तारीखों से कुरान शरीफ को पढ़ रहे हैं माशाल्लाह. और मैं 25 years से दीन का काम कर रही हूँ, अल्लाह कबूल कर ले. और ऑनलाइन मैं पिछले रमजानुल मुबारक से तफसीर जो पढ़ा रही हूँ जूम पे, उसमें बहुत सारी लेडीज जो हैं वो आपके बताए हुए तरीके से चांद के हिसाब से कुरान मजीद तिलावत कर रहे हैं और आपके साथ कनेक्टेड हैं. तो मैं उन सब की तरफ से.
This is not Quran Sharif ka tilawat.
जी बताएं.
Quran Sharif ka qiraat. Difference. Tilawat is when you recite.
Jazakallah.
Tilawat is when you recite in the Quran for others to listen. Qiraat is when you recite in the Quran for Allah to listen. Only between you and Allah. So do not say you are my student unless you are reciting the Quran from cover to cover. Khatam karna. Har mahina, yes. So these are, I don't say they're my sons and daughters, I say they're my students. And I was a student of Dr. Israr Ahmad, rahimahullah, and I learned a lot from him. Yes, I did. I learned a lot from him, and I have great respect for him and admiration for him, yes.
तो आप मुझे बस ऐसी दुआ दे दें कि मैं आपकी बेहतरीन स्टूडेंट बनूं, जो इस काम को आगे जब तक जिंदा हूं मैं ये लेकर चलूं।
Okay, this is my advice to you,
जी
that every day you must pick up the Quran
जी
and recite it.
जी
And you must always begin recitation with Surah Al-Fatiha, because
इंशाल्लाह
this is a chabi to open the
जी
Quran.
इंशाल्लाह
And if you use the chabi to open
जी
the Quran, then this
जी
chabi has 7 ayat. Allah speaks of
जी
it, سبعا من المثاني, 7 ayat.
कुरान अल अज़ीम।
Yes. And this is my opinion, and Allah knows best. These 7 ayat are linked with the 7 samawat.
ओके
As you recite one ayah, you reach one sama. As you recite all 7, you reach the arsh. So when you make the qira'ah of the Quran,
सुभान अल्लाह।
it's over there in the arsh. Yes. This is the psychology of religion. So that
जज़ाकल्लाह।
the heart is taken away from this dunya, and the heart is
जज़ाकल्लाह।
transported to the arsh, and you're reciting the Quran. I think the Urdu word is darbar.
जी
Darbar.
जी जी
Ilahi. My Urdu
दरबार
is not so good. So you're reciting the Quran in Darbari. I don't know if my Urdu is correct.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
You're reciting the
Alhamdulillah.
Quran in Darbari Ilahi.
Jazakallah.
That is different from the ordinary recitation. This is my advice to you. Okay? All right. Is there anyone else?
Do pray for me and Nadeem Naki that he gets speedy recovery and we can meet you one day and come to you, because I want you to see him face to face as you have done in this video. But I would love to come to you and see you myself, inshallah.
Yes, I am in Islamabad, maybe for another 1 week and a few days.
Inshallah.
This is because when I arrived in Pakistan, I've been traveling to Pakistan for the last 56 years.
Yes.
In 56 years, I never had this experience. First time in 56
Okay.
years. And when I arrived, they gave me a visa for 1 month.
Yes.
First time.
Okay.
My wife, because
Mashallah.
she was traveling with
Mashallah.
a French
Have you
passport.
met Imran Khan still? Have you met Imran Khan?
I will answer you in a moment, inshallah.
Okay.
My wife was traveling with a French passport. And because she's traveling with a French passport, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan gave her 3 months. And I am
Allahu.
the Trinidad and Tobago passport, and they gave me 1 month. So if we can get the visa extended, then I won't leave, I'll stay. If the visa is not extended, then we have to leave, inshallah.
Inshallah.
No, I've not met Imran Khan, and I will never, ever make an effort to try to meet a president or a prime minister and so on. No, I won't do that. If a president or a prime minister wants to meet me, I must be good enough to go and meet with him. Yes, I must humble myself for to meet with him. But it's not permissible for me to go knocking on his door to try to meet with him. Yes. Any other comments from anybody or questions?
Okay.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Sahab.
Walaikum salam, yes.
I am Shahab, and you can consider me as a beginner student.
Okay.
I'm new to your lectures. I don't have a lot of questions though, because I have seen all of your videos
Oh, really?
in about
Mashallah.
4 or 6 months, 4 to 6 months.
Mashallah,
Yes.
Okay.
Since the topic was raised regarding Constantinople and Turkey and Ottoman Empire, I was trying to look into the historical backgrounds at that time, but I do not have enough information. So there are two things that in my mind I would like to ask if there is any data available regarding that. At what point in history we started to call Orthodox Christians as kafirs?
At what?
It was at the time when the Ottomans time arise, or before that.
Okay, your question is, at what point in history did we start to call the Orthodox Christian by what name?
By kafirs, like
What is it? I don't know that. I don't know that word. What is it?
a kafir.
A kafir.
Yes.
Well, I don't know for the sheep and the cattle and the goats and the camels who have no sense in their head. But we have never called the servants of Allah, we have never called them kafirs. The sheep and the cattle and the goats and the camels do that. But people with knowledge don't do that. So let them continue with their kafir, kafir, kafir. I don't care, 2 peanuts for them.
No, I understand your point.
Let me answer you.
Okay.
Let me answer you.
Okay.
I get my guidance from the Quran. They get their guidance elsewhere, but I get it from the Quran. And the Quran speaks about those Orthodox Christians. And the Quran says about them that they will be your closest friends and allies. Do you think Pakistan knows that? The Pakistan that says they're kuffar?
No.
Huh? Do they know that?
No.
Is anyone
No,
teaching the Quran to them? This is
No,
what
no,
the
no one
Quran
is
says
doing
about these people, and you call them kafir? Where do you
Yes.
sense gone? Huh? Where has
You're
sense
right.
gone?
You're
So
right.
I am not bothered with people who betray the Quran. I am not bothered with people who have other loyalties, not the Quran. I am here for those whose hearts are attached to the Book of Allah. And their primary source of knowledge is the Book of Allah. And anything else that stands in the way has to be moved. The Book of Allah must prevail. This is the Pakistan I have come to.
Yes.
Yes. And this Pakistan will never say that rubbish that the Orthodox Christians are kafir. Ask the Ottoman Empire, they will answer that question. Ask Erdogan, he could answer that question. But the people who have attachment to the Quran, they know that these Orthodox Christians are going to be closest in love and affection for us in Akhir Zaman. This is in the Quran. That's my answer to you. That's my answer to you.
Yes, I agree with your views. Most of the views, I do not have an alternative to those.
Yes.
I
don't know
because it's very easy to understand while listening your lectures that what happened with the translation of Quran and I agree with your point that we couldn't have understand the Quran in this way before the dead body of Pharaoh was found. I agree with that point. It is very logical point that before that event we couldn't have understand the Book of Allah and the Hadith in a way that we can understand these now.
This is Allah's kindness to me that there are several verses of the Quran.
Yes.
That Allah has blessed me to explain as never explained before by anyone in the Quran.
Mashallah.
This is Allah's kindness to me. Other people will immediately start to throw rubbish at me and say, look, he's boasting and this and that and the other. I don't care for that. Allah judges you by what is in your heart. So yes, this is Allah's kindness to me. Yeah.
And the other question is if there is another explanation regarding, because I have a lot of friends and they're very fan of Turks and all that and the Ottoman Empire, and they still see them as a leader of the Ummah. The second question that I have is that there was a very mysterious organization back then called White Beards.
I never heard of it. What's it called?
White Beards.
White beard.
सफेद दाढ़ी वाले.
सफेद दाढ़ी वाले. No, कभी नहीं सुना. No.
Is there any data available about them?
I have
Because
never heard about them, so I can't comment about that. Yes.
okay.
Okay. Anybody
Okay.
else? Any comment? Or any question? Yes. Go
Hello?
ahead.
Hello?
Engineer Samiullah.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Walaikum.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very
Actually-
happy to be in Pakistan. Yes.
Yes, I'm happy as well too. Actually, I'm from Switzerland. We have spoken also in the last session. And my question is that, as you are saying,
What part of Switzerland?
yes, from Zurich, from Zurich.
Born in Zurich.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I was north of Zurich about 2 months ago. Yeah, we drove north of Zurich, close to the.
Yeah, I didn't know it. I have got, I received the email from your daughter.
Yes.
I would really, it will be pleasure for me to see you back in Zurich. At right now, I'm also in Pakistan, and my wish is to meet you personally. I have sent you many emails,
Okay.
and I can travel to Islamabad also as well, because I live nearby Afghanistan border here in Pakistan.
Okay. I was
So I'm waiting.
also a student in Switzerland for 5 years, 1974 to 1979.
Mashallah. Yes, I have listened from your lectures in
Yeah.
Geneva, no? Right? It's in the International Institute. of-
Okay, you have any question?
Thank you.
Yes, yes. My
Yes.
Sheikh, my question is that the Ummah of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, this includes only the Orthodox of Christians or also the Jewish Orthodox community? Because in Switzerland, we have a lot of Jewish community there who believes also is like in Orthodox Christianity.
What the Quran says is that before Nabi Isa alayhi salam dies, before he experiences Maut, that is after he returns and before he dies, every Ahlul Kitab will be obliged to believe in him, that he is indeed the Messiah. Obviously, the Quran is speaking about that part of Ahlul Kitab which rejects him. It's not speaking about that part of Ahlul Kitab which already accepts him and which will closest in love and affection to us. But when he returns, and at that time they declare that they have faith in him, it will do them no good at all. That Nabi Isa alayhi salam will give evidence against them and they'll enter into Jahannam. So the Jewish world, which up to now rejects Nabi Isa alayhi salam as the Messiah, when he returns, will have no escape from Jahannam. Never, no escape. You will be forced to accept him as the Messiah, and he'll give evidence against you, and you're going to the hellfire. I was addressing 200 Jews in a synagogue in New Jersey. And I told them this was going to happen when he comes back. And when my lecture was over, they surrounded me. 200 Jews, they surrounded me, demanding why must we have to accept what we reject? Yes. So this is my answer to you. Hello?
Okay. Yes, I can hear, Sheikh.
Is there any other
So,
question? Mhm.
yeah, my question in other words, how can I meet you personally? Because I'm right now in Pakistan as well, and I really need your books, set of books.
I am in Islamabad. You just have to make contact with Samir. Hey, Samir. Hey, Samir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Send a message.
How are you doing? Yeah, okay.
Contact with
I have
Samir.
sent already. Okay, inshallah, I will do that.
Contact with Samir. Every morning I come down from my hotel room to the lobby, and from 10 o'clock until about 2 o'clock It's constant stream of visitors, constant stream. 2 o'clock, I go upstairs to perform salat and take some sleep. 5 o'clock, I got to come back down.
MashaAllah. We should
Until
appreciate
Maghrib.
your effort. Okay.
Okay,
Inshallah,
any
inshallah.
other questions?
Yeah, hello, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Walaikum
Yes, right.
Sheikh, my name is Talha Yusuf, and I met you when you were in Karachi like a month back.
Okay.
And yeah, I also wanted to meet you personally, but I guess you cut your Karachi trip short and then you went on to Lahore and Islamabad.
Okay.
Yeah, so any chance that you will be returning back to Karachi?
Not in this visit. I am now planning in September, when I was supposed to fly back to Trinidad. Instead of flying back to Trinidad in September, I'll fly back to Pakistan. Yes, inshallah.
Okay.
And when I come back in September, if Allah so wills, I would like to remain until December. So from September to December, I'll go to Lahore, go to Peshawar, go to Quetta and to other cities, and also back to Karachi.
Sheikh, my question is that, like, what is the concept of Ilham in Islam? Like, do you think that people who are not amongst the awliyas or who are not scholars can still feel sometimes that God is directly speaking to them, or he's speaking to them through the angels? That sometimes I realize that some ideas come into my mind, or some interpretations of verses of the Quran come into my mind, and then I feel that some scholar also validates them.
Allah has spoken in the Quran, and He has said that He has used this method of ilham in order to place into the heart of every human being the road to the right conduct and the road to evil conduct. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. So this is the term used by Allah for method through which He places this in the heart. For us to be able to reach out to the worlds beyond this world, Allah gives us something else. He uses ilham, but He gives us something called Basar. Basar.
Okay.
And it is with Basar that you can travel to all the different universes. Basar is your internal sight. And this is what marks the scholarship of Khidr alayhi salam. The model of scholarship of Akhiru Zaman is the model of scholarship of Basar. That's what the Darul Uloom doesn't know. And from Khidr alayhi salam, there were many streams which emerged, many, many, many. One of them is Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. And in his Masnavi, one of the most powerful verses of all is the one in which he is showing you the uselessness of knowledge externally acquired, unless and until you have knowledge internally acquired. And he makes this profound call for Basar, and he repeats the word 3 times, Basar, Basar, Basar. And from Rumi, there were many streams which emerged. One of them is Muhammad Iqbal. And with Iqbal, he doesn't use the word Basar, he says something else. Bali mushkil hota hai. Bali mushkil se hota hai chaman mein. And he used the word Deedawar Paida. Deedawar is a man of Basar. Basar. And I found that Surah Al-Kahf has taught me. I read Iqbal's reconstruction of religious thought maybe 20 times. Would not be able to understand. But when I went to Surah Al-Kahf made it so easy for me to understand that the most learned of all men, the scholar of Akhiru Zaman, is the one that you will find at Majma'ul Bahrain. Majma'ul Bahrain is the place where the two oceans of knowledge meet. The ocean of knowledge externally acquired and the ocean of knowledge internally received. But these two oceans must not live side by side. You can't take a Darul Uloom and start putting some university studies idhar and udhar. No. You have to have a harmonious integration of the knowledge externally acquired and the knowledge internally received. And that was my teacher, Maulana Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari. This was the man who did it. Iqbal called for it in the reconstruction. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari did it. Yes, but because he said, I am not Deobandi, I am not Brelvi, I am not Ahle Hadith, I am not Wahhabi. Oh, they all rejected him. Though he's not known in Pakistan. No, but look at what Allah has done to him. This man that the Pakistanis rejected and they're choosing other scholars, this man's profile is higher today, far higher than when he was alive. And his profile is constantly growing higher. It is with Basar, that you'll be able to see with the internal eye. And that Basar will come to the heart only when the heart is turned to Allah and is sincere. But I have something more to say. That heart has to beat in harmony with the rest of the world of Allah's creation. So it has to beat in harmony with sacred system of time. And Dajjal has taken us all for a ride. And our hearts have now lost that. And we now perceiving time moving faster and faster and faster. My book, The Quran and the Moon, has explained this subject. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Rauf Shivani.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sheikh, I've been listening to your many YouTube clips for the last 7 or 8 years.
Mashallah.
And I'm really impressed with the way you present your points. I'm very happy that I'm talking to you at this moment, and I know the time is very short, so I have a couple of questions which are very much connected to the current circumstances. In one of your YouTube clips, I figured out when you spoke about the Firaun dead body thrown out from the ocean somewhere in 1897.
Yeah.
And then after that event, almost after 1 year of this event, the Zionists assembled and they made a agenda or a plan or a strategy what to do with the entire world.
No. They established the Zionist movement. The Zionist movement was established within a few months of the discovery of the body. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. There were three agenda basically in that particular establishment of the Zionist movement.
Yeah.
Number one was to destroy the Ottoman Khilafah.
Yes, that's correct.
Number two was to capture the world economy and finance.
Yes.
And the third one, which is what irritating me at the moment, is how to stop Hajj and Umrah.
Okay. The Hajj and the Umrah was taking place while Nabi Muhammad ﷺ was living in Mecca. Up to the age of 40, he was there. And then the Nabuwa was announced when he was age 40. And he continued until age 53 in Mecca. And the Hajj and the Umrah was taking place constantly. But he never performed the Hajj. Why? Because it is invalid Hajj. Why was it invalid? Because Allah was not supreme. If Allah is supreme in His house, then it's a valid Hajj. But Allah is not supreme. You're worshipping all these idols, and all of them have equal status. Allah is not supreme. So he never performed the Hajj, even though he was living in Mecca. And when he went to Medina, then he took that initiative with the Hudaybiyah. And that eventually led to an agreement, and Mecca violated the agreement, and Mecca was then conquered peacefully. Only after the conquest of Mecca, and Allah is now supreme in His house, only then did He perform the Hajj. Is Allah supreme in Mecca today? Is there anyone with even a little bit of knowledge who would be able to say that Allah is Al-Akbar today in Mecca? The answer,
Subhanallah.
for people who have just a little bit of knowledge and who go to the Quran for guidance, they will know that those who today control power in Saudi Arabia are a people who have betrayed the Quran and have taken Saudi Arabia into a state of alliance with the United States of America, which is prohibited by Allah. And they have all become members of the United Nations organization. And when people don't have knowledge. When you accede to the charter of the United Nations organization, then Allah is no longer Al-Akbar. You are legally, by international law, you are obliged to accept the supreme authority now lies with the Security Council. So Allah can say something, and the Security Council says something as, you have to obey the Security Council, not Allah. So I came to the conclusion long ago that this Hajj is no longer valid. Yes.
Beautiful. So my thank you very much for this detailed explanations. So my point was that Corona came in this world, and for this particular reason, the entire Muslims in the world are not able to visit Makkah for Umrah or Hajj. So Corona is the corner obstacle. Is it the disease from Almighty Allah, or it is a planned game?
It is a matter of supreme frustration for me that our people have become sheep and cattle and goats and camels. Love for Makkah, love for the Kaaba, but nothing in your head. Your head is empty. How can you want to go to perform Hajj in Makkah at this time when traitors are controlling the Hajj? Don't you have any sense? If I were to speak in public on this subject, they're going to start throwing stones at me. So I just remain silent. I said, let the sheep and cattle do their want. I make no public comment on the subject. The virus,
correct.
The virus, Allah says that He created this universe bil haqq, with truth. This is a universe pregnant with truth. The earth is pregnant with truth. So nature will never deliver a virus which takes control of all of mankind at the same time. That's not nature.
Subhanallah.
There will be one
Subhanallah.
part of the earth affected by the virus and the other part not. And this is why the Prophet said, if the virus attacks, if you are in that area, don't leave, and if you're outside, don't enter. So there'll always be a part which is free from the virus. But the sheep and the cattle and the goats and the camels now accept that the whole world can be affected by the virus. Everywhere in the world is face masks. Everywhere in the world is social distancing. Everywhere. So what can I do for sheep and cattle and goats? This has not come from nature. This virus was manufactured in a laboratory. And I know why they have done it. I know they will continue with this virus for years to come. For years to come. There'll be great dislocation in the world, but they want, the end product is what they're after. The end is when they want to bring out the most dangerous virus of all and wipe out the Arabs. Israel cannot presume the post of ruling the world while you have so many Arabs resident in Israel and around Israel who are hostile to Israel. So this virus is eventually going to wipe them out, exactly as Nabi Muhammad ﷺ prophesied. Okay, I think we
Thank you. Now, very good. My last question, please, if you allow me.
Yes, just
Brother,
Kashif.
you already asked two questions.
Kashif,
Please
quick
give us
question.
another chance to ask.
Kashif, quick question, please, quickly.
Yeah. So Sheikh, Salam Alaikum. I'm Kashif. I'm from Lahore. I have a question regarding Pakistan. You very well know that our military has been serving Judeo-Christian Alliance for the last 70 years. Do you see any light on the other side of the tunnel? Because our military leadership is mostly secularized. And whenever there is a chance, they always go with them.
This is why I prefer to do my work with people who are retired officers of the Pakistan Armed Forces and not with those who are presently serving. Because I have more assurance with the retired officers that they're not under that heavy yoke from the higher ups, and they have more freedom, and I can speak with them. So, and Colonel Ashfaq is now at my right-hand side, and I have several other retired officers, mashallah, whose hearts are in the right place. And because of the brainwashing for all of mankind, plenty, there's a job I have to do now to remove that and to try to teach them the Quran, and they're learning, alhamdulillah. So I have no comment to make on the Pakistan Armed Forces. But I do have a comment to make on the retired officers of the Pakistan Armed Forces, that with these retired officers, yes, we do have an opportunity that we can teach them the Quran. And when they are mobilized as one voice, the retired officers, and they are speaking on the basis of the Quran, they can make an impact in the country, yes, inshallah. Okay, we must end now. It's close to time for the iftar. And I'm happy that we had this first session, and we'll be happy many more, inshallah. Okay. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I saw Farhad, but he disappeared again.